Hi everyone, I am Ms. Macedo. Welcome to our lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about personification and onomatopoeia. Are you ready? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define personification and onomatopoeia. You will be able to identify examples of personification and onomatopoeia. You will also be able to create personification and onomatopoeia, and you will be able to distinguish between personification and onomatopoeia. Are you ready? First, let's start by defining personification. I want you to take a look at the word personification. What's the word that you see in the word personification? We see the word person. So what does it mean, personification? Personification means giving human qualities to animals or objects. An example, the stars winked at me. Can a star wink at you? No. But that's how the writer gave a human quality to the stars when he said or she said that the stars winked at me. Now, let's look at a few examples of personification. In this example, the storm cloud screamed and grumbled with the sounds of thunder. The underlined part of this sentence is the personification, which is screamed and grumbled. It is making the cloud seem like a person by saying it screamed and grumbled. Let us look at a few examples of personification. In this example, the flowers begged for water. This is an example of personification because the writer is giving a human quality to the flowers. He's saying that the flowers begged for water. What the author is trying to say is that the flowers are dry. In this example, the leaves danced in the wind. It is also an example of personification because the writer is giving a human quality to the leaves by saying that the leaves danced. I can dance, you can dance, but the leaves actually don't dance. It just means that the wind was blowing in the trees and the leaves were falling. Let us look at a few more examples of personification before we move on to our next topic. Some more examples of personification are: the car danced across the icy road. Can a car dance? No. So the author here gave a human quality to the car. In the second example, the angry clouds marched across the sky. In this example, the author is giving a human quality to the clouds by saying that they were angry. In the next example, the stars in the clear night sky winked at me. We saw this example at the beginning. And the last one, the tulips nodded their heads in the breeze. So in this example, the author is giving a human quality to the tulips by saying that they nodded their heads. And we know that tulips don't have heads, and they could not nod either. Now, let's move on to our next topic, which is onomatopoeia. What's onomatopoeia? Onomatopoeia is a word that imitates the sound it represents. Example, splash, when you hear the sound of water. Another example would be pop. And one more example would be bang, when you hear a noise. A few more examples. Usually when you see a bee, you often hear this noise, buzz, buzz. That's the noise that the bee makes. When you see a phone, the phone also rings, and then you hear this sound. I am including this worksheet along with this video that has a few onomatopoeia words that you can take a look at it. Let's look at one example of onomatopoeia in a sentence. The dog sniffed the air. He could smell meat. So in this example, sniffed, the dog sniffed. Sniffed is the sound that the dog makes when it sniffs something. Now it is your turn to identify and to show your understanding of onomatopoeia. Which sentence contains an example of onomatopoeia? I'm going to read it. A. The creak of the branches in the icy wind made me shiver. Or B. From a distance, the city lights twinkle like fireflies. Which one is an example of onomatopoeia? Now, in this activity, you are going to find the personification. Which sentence contains an example of personification? The sun is smiling at me, or I heard the bang of a gun. I am including a worksheet with this video. In this lesson, we learned about personification and onomatopoeia. Personification is when we give human qualities to animals or objects. And onomatopoeia is when words are used to imitate the sounds that it makes. Okay, thanks for watching the video.